Hey guys, Vas here from Aussie Playground and welcome to another unboxing. Today we're going to be looking at the HPI Bullet MT Flux. Now this is a little bit of a special unboxing actually for two reasons. Number one, I haven't had too many HPI products in the past. This is only my third one and it's probably my first real HPI, one that I can actually take out to the BMX track and have some fun with it. Number two, this monster truck was actually supplied by Hobbies Direct, which is a 100% Australian-owned company. They've started out a brand new website. I'll have links in the video description, of course, for you guys to go and check out. They have a variety of different products there, great prices, and I'm not just saying that. I did check out the website prior to accepting this offer. So know that I am sort of semi-reviewing the website at the moment. They've got great prices, great range. At the moment, they're only stocking HPI Traxxas and Axial, so you can get a Yeti XL, for example, ready to run. They've got a bit of a sale on that one. They've got 10% off on all Traxxas vehicles as of right now, and a few spare parts as well. And on top of all this, they have also given me a code to give to you guys to get a little bit of a cheeky discount. Now, the code is ARCP10, which I'll have up there on the screen. This code will give you 10% off when you buy parts and I think some accessories as well. So throw some things into your cart, check out, make sure you put that code in there and see how much it comes to. You should get, of course, 10% off, which is fantastic. Now, I'm not 100% sure, but I think they also deliver overseas, or they'll post overseas, because you could actually select the country that you're in. So you might find a really ripper deal on there, and you might be able to grab something for yourself, even if it is from Australia and you, I don't know, live in Canada or whatever. So that is the deal with Hobbies Direct. Please be sure to check out the video description for a link to their website. And now back to the truck. All right, now this guy, I will say that, when I selected it, I was it was either between this or the ST, so the Bullet MT or the ST. I decided to get the MT because I figured it would be a good matchup against my Stampede and my Helix, right? So that's why I got this truck. Another thing is that this one actually comes with the updated electrics, although I was a little bit worried because when I checked the box, it still had a picture of the old electrics, and I even jumped on the HPI website to see exactly what the new electrics were supposed to look like, and these weren't it. So I had to crack the box open, have a look inside, and just double check that this actually came with the updated electrics. And sure enough, good news, it actually does come with the new electrics, which I'm very, very happy with. All right, let's go grab this lid and get it out of here so we can have a look at this truck, and I should be able to take it out to the BMX track tomorrow and get some running footage for you. Very, very, very excited about that. I'm kind of stumbling on my words a little bit here. Now, the body did come wrapped in plastic, but as I said, I had to sort of pull it out and have a bit of a look at it. So it does not have the plastic on it at the moment. We'll pop this guy aside. We'll get everything out of the box straight away. Get rid of all of this, throw that over there. All right, so the manual, this is what you get in the box. There's a little bit of like a credit card type thing here. It says kit card. Not entirely sure what this is all about. Haven't opened it up. It does have an antenna tube, and I know for a fact that HPI do not muck around when it comes to their user manuals. They put a lot of useful and sometimes necessary information in there. So do make sure that you hang on to this, and if you're not familiar with how everything works about the hobby, make sure you read up on it as much as you can so that you know exactly what you're doing. Now, this box here contains the remote, and also contains a little bag full of goodies. I'll see if I can get the camera to focus in on these because it does have a hard time focusing in. Oh, I did it so quickly. Well done. So you got some double A's there for your remote. There is a cross wrench in here. There's also some Allen keys, some preload spacers for your shocks, and I believe these might be spare pistons for your shocks as well. And I think there's also a hinge pin brace in here, which I'm not 100% sure, but it may actually end up adjusting your toe at the rear or at the front. I'm not sure. Anyway, I'll have to have a look at that at a later stage. Let's crack on to the remote. Now, one thing that I checked out on the HPI website as well was that on their website, it actually shows the real small Taccu remote that I got with my HPI Micro RS4. Thankfully, this is not the remote that's on their website. This is the proper one from HPI, which I've always wanted to get and check out because I've seen so many people with this remote and I've never had one myself. And I have to say This does not disappoint. Come on, camera, do your job. There we go. All right, so this guy here is a 3-channel remote. A really nice drop-down wheel here. You can see the reverse switches on the front. Feels really good. Does run on 4AA because, of course, they are included. Does not have a removable tray, so you will be stuck with running 4AAs. On and off switch at the back here. Collapsible antenna, and you have a 3rd channel button, binding button, steering and throttle trims, steering dual rate, and you got some endpoint adjustments along here as well, which is fantastic. So that's the remote. I'm very happy to get this one. Thank you very much, HPI, for not including that tacky one that was on your website. Right, let's look at the truck itself. I'll bring it up to the camera first. We'll have a quick look at it. Now, I know that some of you may be very familiar with this truck. Some of you may actually own one. Maybe you've owned the older version. Maybe you're thinking about getting a new one. So I know I'll probably get a few comments about these trucks because they have been around for quite some time. I do like the body design, the color scheme. Everything about this truck looks really, really good. The tires actually have a very unique tread pattern on them as well. If you didn't check them out before, here they are again. So very unique tread pattern on the tires. They do feel very soft, very pliable. The foams don't actually feel too soft, which is nice. But the rubber compound itself is actually quite soft and looks like it's going to be pretty grippy. The rims look amazing. They got this like black chrome to them. Very, very nice rims. HPI have known to actually come up with some pretty good rims, I must admit. So very, very nice. Another interesting thing about these tires too is that the rims are not vented, but instead the tires are vented. By that I mean that usually the rims have got a couple of little puncture holes to allow the tire to sort of breathe and sort of deform when you're going over terrain. In this case, it's the tire that's actually punctured, not the wheels. So different. I don't think I've ever seen that on a ready to run before. So let's take the body off, and I will say that I've sort of jumped ahead a bit here, and I've also taken the body pins out of the battery tray because there is in fact 6 body pins for the battery tray, which I find a bit overkill. But one thing's for sure, once the battery is in place, it's not coming out of that box, that's for sure. All right, so the body itself does feel a little flimsy, feels a little light. For an MT like this, I would have hoped that HPI would have at least doubled up on the thickness a bit, but it does feel real thin, just screen printed. Don't know, maybe it might hold up okay, maybe it might not. I'm going to try and not land on the roof too many times. As long as I can keep it on all fours, I think we'll be fine. Alrighty, let's have a look at the guts of it. That is what this guy looks like under the hood. You can see a bit of a splash of orange aluminium here and there, which is very nice. There's our new ESC. It is running Mod 1 gearing, although it does have a very small pinion gear there. And it does have a slipper clutch in the middle, so no center diff, just an adjustable slipper clutch. Steering servo here has also got a bit of an aluminium plate. And the servo saver is actually built into the servo horn, which I'm not a huge fan of. I haven't had too many good experiences with these type of servo savers, but we'll see. Maybe here in this truck it's fine. Center drive shafts running right through. Everything is very centered with this truck as far as the drive line goes. It doesn't go off to the side like you see with some of the 1/8 scale buggies, for example. So this is all very centered, very nicely done. You've got a couple of adjustment points for the front and rear A-arms for your shocks, but there are no adjustment points on the shock towers. The body is of course adjustable as well. You've got some body pins up here that you can sort of move up and down, and you can lower the body if you want to, or if you just happen to get different bodies that will sit differently on the truck, you can adjust this accordingly. The only thing I might do is I might put some plastic washers in here just to stop these body pins from sort of scratching and digging into the body. That's the only thing I'm going to change up. One thing that I was a little bit disappointed with is that this pretty much runs all Phillips screws. There's only a couple of hex screws. There's a couple over the steering knuckles, motor mount, and there's one that holds the servo horn in place. That's as many as I've found so far. But the rest is all Phillips, which is a bit surprising. Now it's all running on an aluminium chassis, which I believe is a stamped 3mm chassis. and it does look very, very pretty, I will say. Very nice. Feels feels obviously very strong. And the A-arms are almost solid right through. There's only a couple of little holes here and there, obviously, for the shocks to peek through, which is good. It looks as though there's provisions for a sway bar kit on the A-arms, but oh yeah, it actually goes on the inside. Yeah, so you probably can put some sway bars on this if you want. Now the ESC is capable of running on 3S, and I'm almost certain this guy is a rebranded Hobbywing, but it doesn't tell me what amps it is. I'm assuming it'll be somewhere between maybe 60 or 80 amp. And the motor, it is a 4000 kV brushless motor, obviously. Although it doesn't say if it's 4-pole or not, but it might be. I didn't check that on the HPI website, but of course you can do that yourselves. Now, the battery tray will, or battery box rather, will just pop off once you remove those 6 body clips, and there's a couple of bits of foam in there that are just sort of been tossed in the tray, just to help sort of position the battery and stop it from sliding around, or perhaps even aid you in positioning it for weight bias. So if your battery is a little bit smaller, you might be able to put a foam at one end to bring the battery forward and vice versa. That's pretty much all there is about this truck. I'm very much looking forward to running it, and it does come with a Dean's plug as well, if I hadn't mentioned that before. The shocks and suspension, before we finish this off, it doesn't feel too bad. It actually feels pretty nice. It doesn't feel over dampened or undersprung or anything like that. It feels okay. It does run 8 shocks, which is a little bit annoying. I would prefer just the 4 shocks, but 8 can be good. It just requires you to get a few more parts if things do go horribly wrong, which I'm hoping they don't in this truck. There are all plastic body chocks, no plastic caps on these either. And of course, as you saw with the preload spaces in the little spare parts bag, there's no threaded bodies. Now, I believe this uses dog bones all the way around. I did originally think that this was actually running CVDs at the front because there was no movement on the dog bones. But what they've done here is they've actually put a couple of little rubber grommets on the outdrive cups, both at the wheel and coming out of the diff, to centralize the dog bone and stop it from sliding, which is a bit of a trick that you can do even with other RCs. You can put a little bit of nitro fuel tubing or some little rubber washers that you can get just to stop the dog bone from sliding around if you're having issues with it popping out or things like that. They've actually done this straight from factory, which is very, very nice. Adjustable camber links front and rear, and of course you do have adjustable toe links at the front. So you do have a little bit of adjustability here. You can customize the way that this performs a bit, which is nice to see straight out of a box to have these options. Mod 1 gears on a 10 scale truck. I'll tell you what, I haven't seen that too much. I think the Turnigy Trooper from Hobby King actually runs Mod 1 gearing, and my Offner Next 10SC also ran Mod 1 gearing. But that's it. I mean, for 10 scales, I can't really say that I've seen too many. There's been a few though. Huge hinge pins I've just noticed. My God. Yeah, they're actually pretty decent hinge pins on the A-arms, although they use those E-clips to secure them in place, which is a little bit annoying, but not too bad. You do have, yeah, I'm assuming that spare piece for the hinge pin brace that's back here is definitely to adjust your toe at the rear. So they have, let me see if I can get the camera to focus in on this properly. So at the back here, you can see this one here is plastic. There's an aluminium hinge pin brace on the inside, and at the front, you have aluminium front and rear, right? Now, I'm assuming that the spare one that they've given me here might actually widen up the A-arms and give me a different toe angle at the back. That's my theory, based on the what I'm looking at here, on the information that I have. Very nice. I'm pretty happy with this. With the exception of the excessive body pins on the battery box, I'm sure they could have come up with like some clips or something to make this a bit easier. And also there's quite a lot of slop in these wheels. Both the front and rear have actually got a rather disturbing amount of slop. So not too impressed with that. But given that this is a basher, this is something that you sort of throw around and have some fun with. That may not have a huge importance. I know that even with my Offner Hyper MT, it had a huge amount of slop on all 4 corners, which, to some people that doesn't bother too many people. The truck still managed to drive straight, and I'm sure that this one will as well. There was no problem there. Very nice. With the exception of a couple of little things. Okay, so my battery just decided to die on the camera, so I had to give it a little bit of juice just to finish off this video. As I was about to say, with the exception of a couple of little things, I'm actually very impressed with what I'm looking at here, and I'm very much looking forward to running it and see how the HPI Bullet MT Flux actually performs. So let's finish off this video very quickly before the battery dies on me again, because I only just put a bit of a splash and dash type of juice in there just to finish off the video. There it is, the Bullet MT Flux. Don't forget to check out the video description for Hobbies Direct, where I'll have a link in there to their website. I'll also have the code in there for you guys to go and get yourself some discounts if you decide to buy some parts or accessories from that website. And also check out the sale they're having on their Traxxas vehicles at the moment. A big thank you to them for supplying the Bullet MT for this review. Big thank you to you guys for watching this long. Hopefully you stuck around. Thank you all very much for watching, and I will speak to you next time.